Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen. Just doing a quick audio check, actually, making sure we're on, making sure we can be heard. Can we be heard? Are we audible?
I'm just doing a quick audio
yes, we are. Here we are. We're ready, getting ready for the Hungarian Grand Prix for XL's F1 League on a Wednesday and Sunday. We only broadcast it on a Wednesday night, but here we go. Joram in the comments says, yes, we got Bennett on pole. Don't know how long I'm going to be able to watch, but I'll be cheering for Bennett, Polish, and Derby because I only know them. Here we go then. About to go lights out, and it's lights out, and away we go. A slightly wet start for this one. Tree Monkey Page did get pole from Bennett right at the end of the session there. He leads off the line. Bennett's looking towards the inside, coming up towards turn one, but Tree Monkey Page is going to cover him off. As we see in the background there, Derby by Andrew Pittsmith and Blocker pretty close. And we see there Malky going very deep into turn one, ever so wide, off onto the runoff. He's going to lose a few places here as we file through turn one. Looks like we're all clean here through the first few corners. Tree Monkey Page has got Bennett looking to his outside, and Bennett goes around the outside of turn two up into the lead of the race. Bennett LCFC now leads ahead of Tree Monkey Page. Blocker there in third. Andrew Pittsmith Carts gets ahead of Derby Bay up into fifth place there on the exit of turn two into three. Daniel M there in seventh place with Mark Bow, Malky in ninth. After that, running wide at the first corner, Viper, Danny Din, Sand there in 12. Polish My Balls has got ahead of Paul Cod up into 13th place. Sofa Nobby Bootneck at the back of the field in P16 as Bennett leads up towards the chicane for the first time. 8/10 of a second currently separating Bennett and Tree Monkey Page at the moment. Great move from Bennett. I'm sure Joe Ram's pretty chuffed with that one in the comments. Yes, get him Bennett, says Joe Ram in the comments. Blocker there running in third. Andrew Pittsmith. Daniel's got ahead of Carts, but Carts is fighting back up the inside there, and now Daniel's going to lose out to Derby Bay. I think Derby Bay's going to be close on the back of Daniel here as they're side by side coming through this section of the track, but Daniel just fend that one off for the time being in P6. Mark Bow ahead of Malky. There's Danny Din just behind Viper. 10th and 11th places. Sand there in 12th. Paul Cod, Polish My Balls, Sofa, Nobby Bootneck at the back of the field. Bennett leads coming in towards the penultimate corner at the first lap. He's already pulled out over a second of a gap here to Tree Monkey Page as we see Polish My Balls is out of the race and the VSC is out. So VSC out on the first lap here in the early stages. Bennett LCFC. No, we have got a safety car here at the end of the first lap. So it is a safety car deployed with one lap of racing gone. Bennett leads ahead of Tree Monkey Page. Blocker in third, followed by Andrew Pittsmith fourth. Carts fifth, and Daniel M in sixth. Derby Bay in seventh. Mark Bow eighth. Malky ninth. Danny Din in 10th. Viper 11th, followed by San in 12th. Nobby Bootneck in 13th. Paul Cod 14th, and Sophie in 15th. Those two seem to have had a bit of a to-do there at the back. But safety car here in the early stages of the Hungarian Grand Prix at XL. Stay tuned, guys. We'll have the rest on pretty shortly. Here we go then, guys. Just confirmed the safety car's coming in this lap, so race control clearly feels that enough of the drivers are closing up onto the back of the pack. San and Soph just arriving on the scene now. Bennett LCOC will take this restart in the lead of the race ahead of Tree Monkey Page. Blocker in third with Andrew Pittsmith fourth. Then we got Karts in fifth, followed by Daniel M in sixth, Double seventh, Malky 8th, Danny Din 9th, Viper 10th, Nobby Bootnick 11th, Mark Bowen 12th, Paul Cod 13th, Sam 14th, Stowe 15th, and that is that as we're out of the final corner and out onto the start finish straight once again for the restart. Polish My Ball is doing his traditional leaving and joining and leaving and joining the session, but over we line we come, and already Bennett's pulled out a bit of a gap here too. Tree Monkey Page, Blocker there in third. We've got Karts with Andrew Pittsmith now looking to the inside, but Karts to get down the inside of Blocker as well. Karts gets moved on Blocker, and Andrew's going to follow him through there, so both of those two getting up ahead of Blocker, and Blocker losing 2 positions in space for a couple of corners there. Blocker back ahead of Andrew Pittsmith coming down towards turn 2 though, and Daniel M there is trying to get involved. He's looking down the inside of Andrew, but Andrew goes a little bit wide, and now Daniel's going to get the run. Coming out through turn 3 they come. Daniel M around the outside there, up into 5th place. Great move there from Daniel ahead of Andrew. Andrew losing out a couple of positions there. Karts up into 3rd place though. Good restart from him. Bennett leads on a Tree Monkey Page. Karts in 3rd with Blocker 4th, and then Daniel in 5th. Andrew Pittsmith in 6th place. Then Derby Bay 7th, followed by Malky, Viper, Danny Din, Paul Cott's got ahead of Nobby Bootneck up into 11th place as Nobby's dropping back down the order there. Sands got ahead of Nobby as well, up into 12th place. So for Mark Bow completing the classification here on the restart. But Bennett's already leading the race by a couple of seconds here to Tree Monkey Page. He's absolutely blitzed it here on lap 5 since the safety car subsided. Tree Monkey Page has got just under a second back to Karts. Karts is starting to really get onto the back of him a little bit, but Bennett once again showing he's got the skills in these damp conditions. Blocker there running in 4th place. He's got just under half a second to Daniel, but Daniel's got Andrew all over the back of him here. Coming into the final sector of the lap, can Andrew maybe get a run here coming through the final part of the track? No DRS open in these conditions, so it's all about traction and the grunt of the car, and you want to have a little bit of you don't want to go full downforce, I would say, just for the reason of overtaking in the wet can be a nightmare if you're on full downforce. But Andrew Pittsmith down the start finish straight isn't really close enough to Daniel coming in towards turn 1. Can't butter any crumpets there into the corner. Bennett leads by 2 seconds at a Tree Monkey Page. Karts still keeping Tree Monkey Page honest at the moment. 8 tenths between those two. Blockers keeping Daniel behind him. Andrew all over the back of Daniel in the battle. 4th, 5th place still. Derby Bay there in 7th with Malky 8th. Viper there running in 9th place. Danny Din 10th. Sands got ahead of Paul Cod up into 11th place there. Paul Cod down to 12th. In fact, Paul Cod's dropping back. What's happened to Paul Cod here? Paul Cod's had a nightmare moment on the exit of the first corner. Let's get some eyes on him if we can. I don't know what's happened to him now. Oh, that's what's happened to him. He's in the wall. He's spun it on the exit of the first corner. Paul Cod there is missing his front wing as well. This could not have gone much worse here for Paul Cod. Double wave yellows through sector 1. There's nobody coming on the scene at the moment, so not too much of a problem. But what a disaster there for Paul Cod. He's limping around at the moment. That's gone horribly wrong there for the Red Bull driver, as Bennett still leads by a couple of seconds to Tree Monkey Page. 1.6 back to Karts. There's Blocker there in 4th place, followed by Daniel M, who sat in 5th place. Has still got heavy pressure from Andrew Pittsmith as they're coming down the hill. Can Andrew make this move out on the inside? He's going to have a look. No, at the moment Daniel does hold that around the outside. Derby Bay waiting in the wings, waiting to pounce if Daniel does make a mistake, or Andrew makes a mistake in front of him. Malky there running in 8th place just behind these guys as they're coming into the final couple of corners now. Daniel's got a poor run there coming up the penultimate corner, and can Andrew get this one around the outside? Oh, very close race in there in the end. Daniel has to concede that one. Andrew get a better run, and now Double Base going to also capitalise on Daniel's little woes there out of the last corner. Can Malky knock Daniel while he's down here, down towards turn 1? No, he can't. Daniel holds on for that 7th position, but he loses a couple of positions there to Andrew and Derby Bay. Double waved yellows through sector 2 as Daniel now gets himself back ahead of Derby Bay though, out of the first corner, up into 6th place again. Double wave through sector 1, don't know what those were for. Danny Din still on the back of Viper, these two battling out for over 9th place. Sophie's in the pits at the end of lap 6, so she's coming in to get some fresh inters on, I would imagine, as it's not anywhere near a tyre change just yet. Double wave goes through sector 2, don't know why. Trying to get some kind of insight into why that might be, but can't really get it at this point. Oh, we see Paul Cod, that might be why. Paul Cod really struggling round to the pits after that incident there, coming out of the first corner, the worst possible point where you could really have an incident, as he had to drive the whole lap without a front wing. He's into the pits now at last. He might go a lap down here, or no, he shouldn't. He should stay on the lead lap, because Bennett's just coming through the final sector now. Actually, Paul Cod might go a lap down here, you know. And if that is a safety car, that'll really hurt him, as he probably won't be able to unlap himself. Paul Cod's just trundled into the end of the pit lane now. I tell you what, I think he might just about hold on, but Bennett's not going to be far away from him. So yeah, there's Paul Codd, and there is the race leader Bennett, who's about 5 seconds behind him on the track. So all in all, that's not really gone too well for Paul Codd there in terms of his race, but Bennett leads the race by over 2 seconds ahead of True Monkey Page. Cart's there in third, Blocker fourth. Andrew Fitzgerald competing in the top 5 has gapped Daniel Em a little bit now, a second between those two. Daniel's also gapped Derby Bay a little bit. Malky's starting to put the pressure on Derby Bay ever so slightly here, half a second between these two. Viper a further 8 tenths back, running in 9th place, and a further 7 tenths back to Danny Din there in 10th. Final top points paying position at the moment, and the rest of them are kind of a little bit detached from the lead pack at the moment. Oh, as we see Daniels at the moment, Daniels dropped down to P10 there. I don't know what happened. He must have had a bit of an incident there coming out of the exit of turn 3. He's lost out massively to these guys in front of him. Didn't really catch what happened there to him. But he's had a big moment there. Derby Bay still only just had a Malky, Viper, Danny Din, and Daniel's still on the back of this train here, so he's not lost out too badly here. Oh, Sands round. Sands spun it there, and that's why we had yellow flags through sector 2. Sands lost the car. He's got it going once again though, and Paul Codd's out of the race. He's DNF'd. Can we maybe get a clue? If we ride with the leader who could be coming up on the scene, we might be able to see why or where or how this happened. Not at the moment though. Okay. Oh, there he is, there he is, there he is. Paul Codd there, parked up on the exit of the third to last corner into the penultimate corner. Safety car once again deployed here at Excel here at the Hungary. So safety car is out for the second time here tonight in these very, very tricky wet conditions here at Hungary, and Derby Bay looked like he got ahead of Malky under safety car there. He's going to have to get that back, I'm sure of that. A bit strange there. Might get done for speeding unless Malky is keeping positive to that delta. He's keeping like quite considerably positive to the delta, should I say. You need to be positive to it, you can't be negative, but maybe he was going a bit too slow. From Derby Bay's ahead of Malky anyway. Safety car out though, guys. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Well, grab yourself a cup of coffee or a snack or whatever you've got to do. Pop to the loo. We'll be back on very, very shortly for the rest of the race. Join us again here on lap 11 of the race here for Excel's F1 League here at Hungary, and it's currently still Bennett LCFC leading the race by just under 3 seconds. Cart's up into P2 ahead of Tree Monkey Page, and Andrew Pittsmith has made a few gains since the last safety car restart. He's up into 4th place here. Double Bay a second and a half further back. Blocker there has got Malky and Hot Pursuit here, 2 tenths between those two. Viper's brought himself into the action here. Has got Danny Din being dragged along with him here. Daniel M down to the final points paying position in P10. Not been the race after a promising start to this one. As we see here, Tree Monkey Page trying to get himself back into P2 ahead of Carts if he can. Joe, I'm in the comments, says, I have to go, unfortunately. Good luck, racers. Sorry to hear that, mate. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one. And C Cart's still just holding on ahead of Tree Monkey Page, and we see Double into the pits here at the end of lap 11. Carts, Tree Monkey Page and Andrew Pittsmith all separated by about a second at the moment. They got 5 seconds back to block. And oh no, Malky's out of the race. He's crashed out there. He put it straight into the wall. That's terminal damage there on Malky's car. Double waved yellow flags through sector 2 as Viper gets mugged by Danny Din and Daniel M there. Both up into 6th and 7th. Sans got ahead of Malky, and Dove also getting ahead of Malky due to Malky obviously crashing out of the race, so they would have got ahead of him. But virtual safety car out here. Danny Din's got a 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flags. Must have kept it pinned all the way through. Bennett leads the race. Oh no, Bennett spun it! Oh my goodness! A rare mistake there from Bennett LCFC as he came into the pits. He's in the pit lane now. He's just trundling onto the limiter. But I assume he's going to get a tyre change. We got another safety car here. The last safety car only lasted a lap or so, so I wonder how long this one's going to last. Nonetheless, we have got another safety car here, guys. As Bennett gets stopped and is in and out. Bennett, once again, always gets the luck. Whenever he's in the pits, there's a safety car or something. He's going to come out in P8, but on fresh tyres compared to everybody else except Tree Monkey Page around him. So Tree Monkey Page and Bennett will be looking to try and pick these guys off in front of them as they've got much fresher tyres than all of them. Viper in the pits, he's put a fresh set of inters on. Everybody else is opting to stay out on the tyres that they're already on. But stay tuned, guys, for the rest of this race. It's been a bit stop-starty here tonight, but hey, it is what it is. Safety cars in. We're underway once again here at Hungary in these very, very wet, rainy conditions. And Carts put his foot to the floor and it's got a bit of a lead here over Andrew Pittsmith in towards turn 1. 1.1 seconds currently separating those two. Balocca there in third with Daniel in fourth, then Derby Bay, San in sixth, followed by Tree Monkey Page and Bennett, who are both on fresh inters here. And Bennett's looking down the inside of his rival here, Tree Monkey Page. Up towards turn 2 they come. Has Bennett completed that move? He has. He's up into 7th place now, can now pull up onto the back of San. Tree Monkey Page there in 8th place, has got Viper behind him in 9th as he's trying to defend from Mark Bow. Mark Bow trying to get this move done, coming in towards turn 3, but Viper's going to fend that one off for the time being. As we've got Soph there in 11th place and Nobby Bootneck, the last of the 12 runners, still going in this race. But Cart's opening up a bit of a gap here. He knows that Bennett and Tree Monkey Page are on fresh inters behind him. They've got a few cars between him and them, but for sure they're going to be covering for him in this race. Derby Bay's got ahead of Daniel Lamb up into 4th place. That looks like that's job done there as he's looking to try and chase down the podium positions if he can. Balocca currently occupying that final podium position. He's already dropped off for the Carts and Andrew a little bit as Daniel's now been passed by San there. San up into 5th place and Bennett and Tree Monkey Page both lining him up here. So Bennett up into P6, getting that move done on Daniel. Now Tree Monkey Page will look to do the same. Daniel just getting knocked down a little bit here as they're coming in towards the final part of the lap here on this lap that was the restart lap. And there is now Viper getting ahead of Tree Monkey Page because Tree Monkey Page has lost it. Oh no, Tree Monkey Page has had a big moment there. He's dropped down to 11th place. I didn't see really what happened there to him, but he's dropped behind Mark Bow and Soph as well. And we see there that's Daniel M into the pits at the end of lap 15. So what a shame obviously there for Tree Monkey Page. Daniel coming into the pits presumably to put a fresh set of inters on and go to the end of the race from here. Carts leads there Andrew. These two 7/10 of a second between them. They're already pulled out a bit of a gap here to Blocker running in 3rd place. Derby Bay in 4th, then San in 5th place. It's got Bennett all over the back of him. Bennett trying to make quick progress through the field, but this is kind of just got rid of Bennett's big rival for the win in this race because Tree Monkey Page was in a good position. Now Bennett's kind of got breathing space here in this battle. He just now has to negotiate the drivers in front of him. Bennett doesn't have to pit in this race. He's already been in and he can probably go to the end on these intermediate tyres that he's got on right now unless it dries up. He's just made the move there on San, so he's up now into 5th place. So Bennett can now try and set his sights on the leaders up ahead of him. He's only about 6 or 7 seconds off the leader Carts, so he's definitely got time on his side here in this race, and there's still plenty of laps, so Bennett can certainly get the win here in this one. As we can see here, Derby Bay's on the back of Blocker. These two battling it out for 3rd place here in this race. Mark Bow's on the back of Viper here. These two battling it out over 7th. You've got Tree Monkey Page about 8/10 behind Mark Bow, trying to get up onto these guys if he can. After that mistake at the end of the restart lap, Tree Monkey Page has now recovered a little bit, got himself back up into P9 here. He's got ahead of Soph and Nobby Bootneck. Daniel obviously came into the pits after that, so he's out of the picture at the moment, but can probably go to the end of the race on those set of tyres. But Cart's still leading the race by just under a second here to Andrew Pittsmith. Blocker there in 3rd, has got Derby Bay pretty close behind him. Bennett there starting to reel these guys in, having got ahead of San. He can now focus his attention on these podium positions here. Tree Monkey Page still behind Mark Bow. These two battling out over 8th place here. Carts still leads the race by 4/10 of a second at the moment to Andrew Pittsmith. But this is a pretty close battle here between these two for the lead of the race. They'll know that Bennett's also coming after them. Currently in P5, still hasn't cleared Derby Bay though in that battle for 4th place. Carts and Andrew Pittsmith coming out of the last corner here. And Andrew looks very close here, coming out onto the start-finish straight. He can get a good run coming down the start-finish. He might sense an opportunity here coming into turn 1. More or less half distance here in this race. Andrew doesn't seem to have the straight line speed. I think Carts has a lower downforce setup that's being exposed there for Andrew coming down the straight, because he just has not got a straight line speed to go past him. And Karts has currently got the answers to Andrew. As Bennett's done both Blocker and Derby Bay there in one straight. Bennett up into third place in this race. Bennett LCFC now within 6 seconds of the race leader Karts, and can well and truly set sail for the race leader. Tree Monkey Page has done Mark Bow up into 8th place and can now focus his attention on Viper, who is just under 2 seconds up the road from him in 7th place. Karts and Andrew still going at it here for the lead of the race though, 4/10 at the moment apart. Fastest lap of the race there from Bennett, much faster than the guys in front of him. Those fresh inters are really working a treat for him at the moment. I'll tell you what, Karts and Andrew, what they need at this point is a safety car, because that will force Bennett's hand a little bit. But then again, his tyre's only 5 laps older than these guys, so I'll tell you what, they need a safety car to come out in about 3 or 4 laps time. That would be a tough decision for Bennett, provided he's still behind them when it came out. But at the moment, Karts and Andrew still battling it out. Karts has got a bit of a cushion back to Andrew over this last lap or so. Block is still running in 4th, still hassling the back of Derby. Still being hassled by Derby Bay in that little battle there. Viper just ahead of Tree Monkey Page. These two separated by 4/10. Tree Monkey Page cleared Mark Bow a couple of laps ago. Has quickly got onto Viper here, but still hasn't found a way through in that little scrap that they're having. Two leaders are coming into the penultimate corner now. Lap 19 of 35. When do these guys start thinking about coming in and putting a fresh set of tyres on? Oh, just as I was saying that, Andrew Pittsmith is in, so he's going to try and get the undercut on Karts by the looks of it. So he will have 6 lap fresher tyres than this man here, Bennett LCFC. And Bennett's still pumping in the fastest laps here at this point in the race, still bringing the gap down to Karts. As we see Andrew's in and out of the pit box now, so he's coming down towards the end of the pit lane. Fresh inters on for Andrew Pittsmith. What can he do from here? We'll have to wait and see in this race. Bennett's got the gap down to 3 seconds though to Karts. Mark Bow's in the pits, as is Nobby Bootneck, so those guys both putting on their last set of tyres for this race, I would imagine. Karts has got a long old stint on these tyres though. 19 laps in. Blocker and Derby Bay have both done 19 laps also. Viper's within 7/10 of a second of San at the moment, still can't get around him. Tree Monkey Page has dropped off of these guys, so Tree Monkey Page must have made a mistake, because he was right on the back of Viper a few moments ago. So Tree Monkey Page, despite having a pace tonight, hasn't had the consistency at all in that Williams. It seems like he's just been making too many mistakes over the course of tonight. San's still pretty close on the back of Mark Bow here. These two separated by 6/10 of a second at the moment. Karts has managed to gap Bennett. No, sorry, he hasn't. Sorry, no, he hasn't. Bennett's managed to slice that gap down continuously and is now within 1.2 seconds of him. He's closing in every corner here. I reckon Bennett, if he gets a good run out here out of turn 2, might have a chance on the straight up towards 4. This one's flat out, this right-hander. Maybe a bit too far back this time around, but Bennett is visibly closing that gap to Karts. Maybe he might have a go into the chicane in a few corners time. But Bennett really doing well here tonight. Clearly within a second here, but no DRS available, and it looks like Karts is coming in. So Karts pulls the trigger, so that will release Bennett into the lead of the race. That will mean that both Karts and Andrew both have fresher tyres than Bennett. Bennett's going to have quite a sizable lead over these guys coming into the final few laps of the race. Balocca needs to come in, he's coming in this lap, so is Derby Bay. Viper put his tyres on lap 15, so Viper in a similar position to Bennett here. And with the strategy, has Viper just got himself possibly onto the podium here. He comes out in second place. Bear in mind, Viper's going to have to do 21 laps on those intermediate tyres by the time we get to the end of the race. They can do 15 laps comfortably. 17, 18 laps are a bit of a push. 20 laps are like a real... You have to be very, very kind to the tyres to do 20 laps. 21 laps on the intermediate tyres. Could we be seeing Viper pull off an absolute miracle here? I don't think it's going to be possible. I think Viper's going to lose out on that podium pretty quickly, if I'm honest with you, because he's got Karts within a second, and Andrew's only a couple of seconds further back off of Karts. And what has happened to Bennett here? Because Bennett is now only 4... Is that... Are my eyes deceiving me? Yes. Yes, they are. That's not 4/10. Bennett is not only 4... The timing screen is saying there's 4/10 between Bennett and Viper. It's way more than that. I don't know what's going on with the timing board here, but that is not 4/10 of a second. Come on. We see Blocker ahead of Soph up into 9th place there, getting the move done. Schumacher not having the night down 11th place. It really hasn't gone to plan at all for him. Bennett though still out in front, the gap 19 seconds. That's more like it. Question is though, how much of a pace advantage are Karts and Andrew going to have over Bennett, and how quickly are they going to be able to dispatch Viper and get into second and third places? Kart's getting a good run here up towards turn 3. The thing is, overtaking is so difficult here at Hungary. Unless the person in front of you makes a mistake, you kind of just got to be patient. Kart's getting a good run here. Is he going to send one into the chicane? He might think about it, you know. As they come into the corner now, no, and Viper's still holding firm. And all the time while these guys are stuck behind Viper, it's preventing them from going after Bennett. But Karts though, on a good strategy here. He's got 9 lap fresher tyres than Bennett, the race leader, so he could be in with a chance of having some very strong pace at the end of this race. Here goes Karts down the inside of Viper up into P2, gets that move done there really nicely. Viper going for the cutback. Oh no, Viper and Andrew crashing each other out of the race. Viper DNFs. Andrew Pipsmith there was a little bit naughty, I've got to say. He kind of had no right to keep himself there. He just tagged Viper in the rear a little bit. Viper into the barriers. Andrew just kind of helped him round. Viper, I think, is going to be a little bit upset with that one. But we've got a double wave yellow flags through sector 3. I'll be very surprised if that isn't a safety car. They've cleared it up. No safety car. Wow. Andrew Pipsmith, unsurprisingly, into the pits. The gap between Bennett and Karts at the moment is 22 seconds. But the big thing about this race is that Bennett is going to have to do 21 laps on his intermediate tyres. I reckon the last couple of laps he's going to be absolutely skidding around. He's going to be paddling by the time we get to the end of this race. And the question is, can Karts bring the gap down by enough to be within striking distance when Bennett's tyres inevitably will hit the cliff at the end of this race? The rain looks like it's petering out a little bit now, so the track will be drying up ever so slightly. Does anybody take that risk, put the softs on? Dry line is clearly appearing at this point in the race. Anybody's guessed at the moment what they do here. But Derby Bay still running just ahead of Mark Bow. These two separated by 7/10 of a second, having a good little scrap here for 5th place. Blockers very much on these guys as well. 5th, 6th and 7th separated by about a second at the moment. 6/10 even, really. And we have got another safety car because Tree Monkey Page is out of the race. This throws this race into the balance now. What do these drivers do? Are we going to see anyone putting the soft tyres on for the final few laps of this race? Surely that the front runners are going to come in. They've got a free pit stop here, most of them. Bennett, Karts and San can all get into the pits. San is in the pits now. What about Karts? Where is Karts at? Karts is staying out. Karts is still going round. I imagine he'll probably be in the pits at the end of this lap though. But this is absolutely crucial here. This could bring Karts back into this race. It could give Bennett an opportunity to put some fresh tyres on and pull away. This could be anyone's race here at the Hungary Ring for the XL F1 League. Guys, stay tuned, don't go anywhere. This is going to be a nail-biting finish to this one. I remember last time at Hungary we saw an absolute thriller which Polish My Balls won through the penalties. This one wide open here. Don't go anywhere, guys. Stay tuned. Here we go then, guys, underway once again for the final 8 laps of the race, and it's currently Bennett who now leads the race, having had a bit of a lead beforehand before the safety car period, but now obviously Cart's right behind him. These two both on fresh tyres, but Bennett just put those inters on, so he's on even fresher tyres for these final 7 laps of the race. Daniel Emlyn there in 3rd place, Mark Bow 4th, followed by Blocker 5th, and WA 6th, Andrew Pittsmith in 7th, Bobby Bootneck currently running in 8th place, and Stan at the back in 9th has just come out of the pit box, so he's a long way behind now, but Bennett on fresh inters, already driving away from the rest of them here. Cart 2nd, Daniel trying to get onto the back of Carts if he can, as Andrew's made the move on Derby Bay up into 6th place there. See Mark Bow really trying to hassle the back of Daniel M here for that final podium spot. Blocker being dragged along. These guys have gapped Andrew a little bit. Andrew obviously had to make the move on Derby Bay, so that may have cost him a little bit of time coming through the first part of the lap. Mark Bow still can't get around Daniel. Daniel's dropped off at the back of Bennett and Carts, and Bennett's pulling away from Carts ever more over the course of this end to this race. The final few laps of the race here at the Hungary ring for the XL Formula 1 League. Guys, if you like what you see, go to the description down below, join the XL Discord server, click the link, that will take you straight there. Also join Motive, we're the ones broadcasting the XL Leagues here on a Wednesday and Monday night, as we see Bennett fastest lap of the race there on lap 28. 7 laps left to go here, just got to see this one out. Mark Bow within 7/10 of a second of Daniel. Blocker and Andrew pulling up onto the back. Andrew Pittsmith has really made gains on these guys since getting ahead of Derby Bay on the previous lap. Blocker a little bit wide there, coming through that section of track, gets away with it. I'll tell you what though, probably got a corner cutting warning. If it was on strict, that might have been a penalty there. As Andrew's still probing and pushing him, trying to find a gap if he can. But Daniel M, big shout out, honourable mention to this guy. Currently running in a podium spot. I think it'd be his first podium here at XL. I don't believe he's finished on the podium before, at least not whilst I've been watching. He's got about a second of a gap now back to Mark Bow. Blocker and Andrew still trying to find a way through. Still can't get that gap though. Oh, Andrew very late on the brakes there coming into turn 1. Almost ran into the back of Blocker there, but Blocker must be counting his chickens there, as Blocker's now looking at Mark Bow coming into turn 2. Isn't close enough there. But all the time, Daniel pulling away from this pack of 3 cars behind him. Mark Bow, Blocker and Andrew Pittsmith trying to sort themselves out here in 4th, 5th and 6th. The man in the final podium spot starting to drive away from them ever so slightly. Oh, it's Blocker very deep there coming through turn 5. But Andrew's still not able to do anything here. Tucking in behind him for the time being, riding over that curb majorly there. Nobby Bootneck's pulling up onto the back of Derby Bay. Derby Bay's had a bit of a scruffy end to this race, to be honest. Don't know what happened to him. He was on the back of Daniel, Mark Bow, Blocker and Andrew a couple of laps ago. He's now nearly 15 seconds adrift of them. Bennett leads by 3.5 seconds at the moment. He's just coming out of the final corner. He's about to start the 31st lap. 5 to go here in Hungary. Fastest lap of the race there from Bennett LCFC. He's flying in that Merc. We got Carts there in second. Daniel M starting to reel in Carts a little bit maybe now. I don't know. Possibly Daniel. I mean, he's on very old tyres, but he's done a lot of those laps. Those 14 laps he's done on the Inters. Let's not forget, he's done a lot of those under the safety car, so they're not going to be feeling the pace like Inters usually would at this stage in a race on that many laps. Nobby in the pits at the moment. But Daniel really starting to reel in karts a little bit now. All told, by the end of this race, I think he will have had to have done 14 or 15 racing laps on these Inters, which isn't too bad. The only problem is the temperature in them, but as long as he's still hitting some of those puddles and keeping them reasonably wet, they're going to still be working at optimum temperature. The Inters are clearly still the tyre to be on, as you can see by the fact that everybody's on Inters still. The dry line has been there for a while, but it's not really dry enough to risk putting the slicks on. Bennett leads by 4 seconds to karts. Daniel keeping the gap at around 2 seconds to karts at the moment. He's gapped Mark Bow and Blocker a bit, as Blocker's now defending. Andrew Pittsmith looking around the outside here, coming into the third to last corner. Andrew's going to try and hold it all the way around the outside. He's going to get this move done off the track here, I think. Indian has to back out of that to avoid getting a penalty, and Blocker holding on to that 5th place for the time being, but Andrew's really putting it up him here in the closing laps of this race. Bennett on to lap 32, 4 laps left to go here for the Hungarian Grand Prix at XL F1 League. Karts there running in second place, almost 5 seconds behind. Daniel keeping the gap to him, closed a little bit on that previous lap, did Daniel. Mark Bow there in 4th, has got Blocker within 8 tenths, as Andrew Pittsmith still trying to get onto the back of these guys and get himself into 4th place if he can. These three continuing to drop off at the back of Daniel though, who seems to have the pace over them at the moment in P3. Mark Bodo keeping Blocker and Andrew behind him just about here, but he's got his hands absolutely full of them as we're approaching the very closing stages here of this race. We're about 90% race distance. The race, if there was a sudden thunderstorm right now and the race was abandoned, these guys would get 4 points for their troubles. But at the moment, Mark Bow keeping Blocker and Andrew Pittsmith at bay just about. Gap between karts and Daniel's kind of staying at the same, just over 2 seconds between those two. Bennett's got a gap of 5 seconds to karts at this point, so he's pretty much home and host here out the front. He's just coming around the final couple of corners. He's literally got 3 laps left to go, 3 and a bit laps left, 3 laps in like literally a couple of seconds time. Karts there in second place, keeping the gap to Daniel. Daniel not really gaining on him anymore. Daniel did his fastest lap of the race there, his personal best, but not really making the gains on karts. Mark Bow there in 4th has managed to put a bit of a cushion between himself and Blocker. Blocker's still got Andrew Pittsmith in hot pursuit coming into turn 1. Riding a wall with Andrew Pittsmith, you can see Mark Bow and Blocker just up ahead of him. Andrew's been all over the back of Blocker for a few laps now, but just hasn't been able to find any gaps to exploit to get himself up into P5. You can see 4th place just up ahead of Blocker there in the shape of Mark Bow, but just doesn't seem to have any answer at this point. Stands ahead of Derby Bay up into 7th. Didn't see what happened to Derby Bay. He looks like he's had a nightmare since the safety car restart. Sands got a penalty that will drop him down the order. Probably drop him down to 9th. No, I'll probably drop him to 8th because he's to Bobby Bootneck, so he should be alright there. As we see now, Blocker has got some slipstream here on Mark Bow up towards turn 1. 4 tenths between the two of them. Blocker still can't get it done. No DRS still, as the track is too wet to have the DRS. It would be unsafe to have DRS down that straight when the track is as damp as it is when you've got puddles and standing water. Mark Bow wide there coming through turn 2. Blocker still can't make anything happen here. There's Andrew just watching this unfold behind them. Doesn't look like he's able to capitalise on anything here as Blocker gets a bit of a shaky run coming out of 5. Defends the inside line into the chicane. Andrew nowhere to go there. Oh no, Blocker's lost it! And Andrew loses a little bit of his front wing end plate there. Blocker into the wall. Just about keeps it from I think he avoided losing his front wing there, but he just tagged that. Andrew just tagged him as he came through. Blocker gets it going once again. He's lost out to Andrew Pittsmith there. He's a long way ahead of San though, so should be able to bring it around for 6th place, and we'll get 8 championship points here. So it's not all doom and gloom for Blocker there. Andrew does get himself up into 5th place, but I think his chances of taking P4 have gone due to the fact that Blocker kind of just took a bit of Andrew's front wing end plate there as he came through that chicane on the exit. So Andrew up into 5th place nonetheless though. A couple of extra points for his championship. As race leader Bennett's on the final lap, he's got a 7-second gap back to Karts. Karts has gapped Daniel a little bit over the last couple of laps. He's almost got 3 seconds back to him now, back in 3rd place. Mark Bowe there in 4th has got 4.5 seconds back to him. Then he's got a further 4 seconds back to Andrew Pittsmith. Blocker there, it's got it going once again in P6 here in this race. A little way behind Andrew Pittsmith. San there in 7th place, over 20 seconds behind Blocker. You've got Derby Bay in 8th, 10 seconds behind San. And Nobby Bootneck, the last driver still going in this race, will get 2 championship points for his troubles tonight, showing that persistence always pays off if you get down to under 10 drivers. But here is Bennett LCFC, the race leader, the championship leader, the reigning champion of the OG League here at XL on the PlayStation 4 and 5 on the Codemasters Formula 1 game. Bennett took his first win at Motive F1 League last Friday night at the USA, and he's following that up with some very, very strong form here at XL. Bennett LCFC in the Mercedes AMG. The silver black arrow is coming into the final corner here at the Hungaroring. It's going to be a victory for Bennett, who played the strategy brilliantly here tonight, has had the pace over everybody else up towards the line. Bennett LCFC takes the checker flag and is your winner here for the Hungarian Grand Prix at XL F1. Karts takes 2nd place as he crosses over the line there. A great result for Karts. Really did deliver a great performance, and well done to Daniel Am as well, because he takes his first podium here at XL. Hats off to you, Daniel. Well done. You are now a podium finisher here on the Motive Racing channel here at XL F1. We got Mark Bowe over in 4th ahead of Andrew Pittsmith, who finishes this race in 5th place. Blocker 6th. San's going to come through the final few corners, and it's going to be a 7th place finish here for San. Literally just got this final right-hander to go. It'll be 6 championship points here for San. Not too bad of a result considering the topsy-turvy race that he's had. Up towards the line he comes to take a 7th place there in the Ferrari. I imagine he's probably not going to be too disappointed with that in the end. Derby Bay is coming through the final few corners now, and it's going to be an 8th place finish here for Derby Bay. He really dropped back here at the end. He had a horrible last couple of laps, but nonetheless 4 championship points. Can't be too bad there for him. And Nobby Bootneck in towards the final couple of corners is going to finish this one in 9th place. 2 championship points for Nobby. Had a bit of a hit and miss race, but up towards the line he comes. 9th place finish for him. But another big well done to this man here, Bennett LCFC, who takes the win once again here at XLF1 on a Wednesday night. We don't run on a Sunday night here at XL. We don't broadcast the races, but nonetheless, well done to Bennett LCFC. Thanks everybody. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great evening. Join us on Friday for the Motive F1, if not for next Wednesday on XL. Thanks everybody. We'll see you later.